Assalamu alaikum. This is the presentation for medical students by Dr. Mumtaz Ahmed Umar, and today's topic is Plummer-Vinson syndrome or Patterson-Brown-Kelly syndrome. Introduction. It is also known as cytopenic dysphagia. It is a rare disease characterized by difficulty in swallowing, iron deficiency anemia, glossitis, chylosis, and esophageal web. It is predominantly seen in the females above the age of 35 years. Esophageal web, which is a feature of Plummer-Vinson syndrome, develops usually due to subepithelial fibrosis. Clinical features, it include dysphagia, glossitis, angular stomatitis, which is fissuring at the corners of mouth, achlorhydria, which is the atrophy of mucous membranes of the alimentary canal, iron deficiency anemia, which is a microcytic hypochromic type, and chylonychia. So this is instead of the normal convex shape of the nail, it is concave in shape. So this is the spoon shaped, also known as chylonychia. If you see the tongue, it looks sore. It is the atrophic glossitis, and this is the web, esophageal web. Investigations, they include blood CBC, which show low hemoglobin and low RBC count, then serum iron and ferritin levels. Then on radiology, barium swallow. Barium swallow is a type of X-ray in which a dye, barium sulfate, is given by mouth, and as the patient starts to drink it, multiple X-rays they are taken and they will show any pathology in the alimentary tract. So barium swallow will show a web in the postcricoid region. This web is usually formed due to subepithelial fibrosis. Then esophagoscopy, either flexible or rigid, can be carried out as a diagnostic procedure, and which may show a web in the postcricoid region. So this is the picture of the barium swallow. You see this whitish material filling the alimentary canal is the barium. Here there is narrowing. This is the web. Again the web is here. Treatment. So it can be treated both by medical and surgical means. If the web is not too much severe and the symptoms are not severe, then only with medical measures the problem gets better. So first of all, we have to correct the anemia either by oral or parenteral iron therapy to improve the serum iron levels. Serum iron levels improvement are more important than raising the hemoglobin. Then if the condition is not getting better, then we may have to do surgery. Surgery by means of esophagoscopy and dilatation of the web by means of esophageal bougies and esophageal balloons, either by bougies or by balloons. Esophagoscopy is usually the one done by the ENT surgeon, is the direct rigid esophagoscope, while a gastroenterologist can perform a flexible esophagoscopy to do the dilatation. So this is the rigid esophagoscope and this is the flexible esophagoscope. One main difference with these between the esophagoscope and the bronchoscope is that there are graduations on markings on the esophagoscope. They are not present on bronchoscope. The reason is because esophagus is a muscular tube, so we don't know at which level we are present. That's why these markings, they will tell us, guide us that we are at this level. The total length of rigid esophagoscope is 40 centimeter, which is the distance from the central incisors to the cardiac end of stomach. These are bougies. If you notice, they are of increasing diameter. So these bougies, they are used for the dilatation of the structure of the web. This is small size, so we introduce these bougies, the smaller size first, then the one with bigger diameter, and then the one with more increasing diameter. or if the balloons they are available, they can also be used. These are the balloons with guide wires. This guide wire, they bypass the obstruction, and once the obstruction is bypassed, the balloons they are inflated at the site of obstruction, so with which they put pressure and reduce the web or cause dilatation of the web or the strictured area. Like in this, a guide wire is then introduced first, which bypass the obstruction, and bougies in increasing diameter and remain there up, and we move it up and down 1-2 times, and then it will cause pressure and remove the web or dilate the web, and the conditions get better. Sometimes, however, patient may need to undergo dilatation repeatedly 2-3 times at 6 months interval. Complications: 10% of the patients they develop postcricoid carcinoma, so it can be considered as a pre-malignant condition for carcinoma of postcricoid region. It also predisposes to carcinoma of the tongue, buccal mucosa, pharynx, esophagus, and stomach. Thank you.